Welcome to Facebook for the Blind, your look at the downfall of Western civilization through the best memes we can find each week.
I'm hearing you get older.
I hate you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to that time of the week we like to celebrate Facebook for the Blind, a show for the visually and Facebook impaired. I am your humble host, Eric Sizemore, joined by Michael LeBune, and let's get to the news. The Democrats are, I don't know, jeopardizing American democracy is this headline. They are not using the Justice Department to prosecute anybody from January 6th. They're just leaving it up to Congress because, you know, those guys get stuff done. The Democrats' new bill announced today halves the party's agenda, betrays healthcare and climate promises. But the one promise that Democrats seem most intent on fulfilling is Biden's pledge to donors that nothing will fundamentally change. Definitely coming through on that. A lot of Democrat friends of mine said things like, hey, I love it. You know, people have never tried to get 50 people together to agree on something. And I'm like, oh, I must mean not people, but 50 Democrats, because 53 Republicans could get together and agree on anything. I mean, seriously, didn't they vote to make like hydroxychloroquine the national bird? I mean, they can agree on anything. A lot of memes going around. The Build Back Better plan will now consist of a reusable metal straw and a coupon for a free car wash at any Exxon gas station of your choosing. And I would say that Democrats are tripping over their own dicks, but that would imply that they were actually trying to move. Also, world leaders were roundly mocked for riding private jets to the climate conference, you know, telling us all that we need to cut back. You know, coming up in here with your big carbon cloud stompers, talking about your carbon footprint. Get the fuck out of here. So let's do some good news. A lot of interesting stuff. Stanford scientists say that brain magnets can relieve depression. Really small sample group, but really effective results, like 10 times placebo with targeted magnetism. One patient says, I feel much better. I'm sleeping. I am no longer suicidal after putting some magnets on their head. So I've been putting my speakers a lot closer to my head when I sleep now. China announced that a hydrogen-powered train that emits only water is first hydrogen fuel cell locomotive has begun a trial run to Inner Mongolia. Meanwhile, in the United States, we're like, oh yeah, trains. I forgot about them. In a bit of comedy history, Mort Saul passed away this week at 94. And as Dana Gould notes, it did not get the coverage that it warranted, sadly. Mort Saul, more than any single person, defined the modern style of stand-up comedy. So I'd like to tip my coffee mug at him and say, Mort, thank you for giving me a very fun hobby. Fox News host actually called out the GOP's senators' hypocrisy. There's a former Florida governor, Rick Scott, and he says, you keep talking about deficits, but should the Trump tax cuts be repealed? To which Rick Scott said, which was hilarious. And polls keep coming in saying that too many Americans, about 31%, 1 in 10 believe that the 2020 elections were stolen from Trump, including 2/3 of Republicans and a whopping 82% of those people who trust Fox News more than any other media outlet. So, you know, not like we're going to go through a second Trump-sponsored coup or anything. And if we did, the Democrats will be ready because they're really taking this seriously and they know they're in a fight. I always try to end with a human interest story that involves animals, because I do all this negative stuff. So I'm going to get done with this and go into, yes, U.S. wildlife researchers have discovered that 2 California condors, a critically endangered bird, gave virgin birth without any male genetic DNA. That's right, virgin births discovered in critically endangered California condors.
This is the feminist agenda.
That is the exciting news from the world of Facebook for the Blind. Now handing it off to my co-host Michael with funny stuff.
I'm with you, Beverly. Beverly says, rock on, ladybirds. I can get it done. All right. So this is a text conversation for my first meme. I saw this on Twitter. And the first person says, "When you get here, you're all mine," with a smiling devil emoji. And the second person says, "Not if I shit myself on the way." The first person says, "Why would you say that?" Oh man, Figburn at Figburn says, "That's not what I was trying to learn." And then they've screen grabbed a Google search, and the Google search is, do all odd numbers have an E in them? And the Google answer is, "Here's today's facts. Every single odd number has the letter E in it when you spell it. Approximately 1 million people in America are married to their first or second cousins." I have no idea why that last part's there. Oh man, this is an email exchange, and it says in big letters across the top, "Do not ask goth chicks for notes," or "Do not ask a goth chick for notes." That's it. And then you can see that the subject of the email is meow. Then there's a Word file that's anthro full notes, but the message says purr. Say thank you, mommy, for the awesome notes. And my favorite part about it is that you can see the guys replying, or the person's replying, "Aye, thanks, mommy." Oh, this one's from me. So Michael Harriet, who's an editor for the Root magazine, he tweeted, "Deep inside, we all feel like we can tap dance and do a little bit of karate." And I just subtweeted this and put it in all caps, "guilty." I am so guilty of this. My whole life, I've secretly believed I know a little karate and I can tap dance.
Yep, I'm with you.
Especially when I'm alone. Minaj at This Is Kashmir says, "Did it hurt when you had to fade your voice out while you were telling a story to a group of people once you realized nobody was really paying attention?" Let me go on the record and say, if this happens to me, that's it. That is like, I'm a good storyteller. If this happens to me in a group of people, I can tell you right now, I'm walking away and I'm not coming back. That's a fucking unpardonable sin. This is a great Halloween meme. It's a skeleton with his hands in the air, and it says, "When you don't find drugs in your Halloween candy like people warned you about." Hello Cullen says, "Me and my friends would have killed ET with hammers. I can tell you that much." With hammers. The therapist. This is a picture of a couple, and the wife has her hand in her hair, and the husband looks dumbfounded. And the therapist says, "Your wife says you never buy her flowers. Is that true?" Him. "To be honest, I never knew she sold flowers." This picture is so stupid, and I've been laughing at it all week. It's the poster for The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, but they've changed the words, so it says "The Lion, the Witch, and the Audacity of this bitch." Glow fuck yourself came through. It's the black screen with like thick bold white letters, and it says, "A more accurate Gatorade commercial would be a really hungover person in bed trying to drink it without sitting up all the way." And this is my last meme for this round. It's from sungazing.com, and it's a picture of a blood moon, and it's really, really like haunting and beautiful. And it says, "Don't forget, tonight the moon will be visible from Earth. The last time this happened was last night."
Awesome.
I hate to be this way, man. I do get tired of that shit.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. And half the time it's wrong. All right.
Yeah, I drove out of town to try to see the like Aurora Borealis, and the stars were pretty, but I didn't fucking see that shit.
No.
Drives me nuts.
I didn't see anything either, and I kept looking, but I'm way south of you here. All right, into Act 1, which we call the wholesome round. Sometimes it is. This one is from comedian Andrew Nadeau, who says, "Turns out you can buy a birthday cake anytime and eat it yourself. Nobody checks." And this one got
being adult
way more than 32 likes and comments. It's about a week old, but man, people really resonated with that. They were like, "Yeah, you can buy a birthday cake." Little Halloween stuff here. Halloween, a day when we get it right. Strangers come to us, beautiful, ugly, odd, or scary, and we accept them all without question, compliment them, treat them kindly, give them good things. Why don't we live every day like that? from Stephen Gardes Holmes. Why don't we? I like that. Another Halloween meme, just a woman with a margarita, and it says, when someone asks me if I have any Halloween plans, might get drunk, put up the Christmas tree.
Love it. Christmas, I'm one of those people. Christmas decorations go up the day after Halloween. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mariah Carey too. I don't give a shit. Let's
Sure. Speaking of decorations, this one is several skeletons, and they are loading a duct taped and trash bag body into a coffin, and says, the neighborhood didn't like my decorations. I don't know. That's classic to me. There's good stuff right there. This one got tremendous amounts of love, well over 13 likes and comments and shares. Star Trek 2 panel. Kirk says, there's only one thing that scares me on Halloween. Spock says, which is? Kirk says, yeah, how did you know?
Shut the fuck up.
Oh.
Hey, you know, the
That's
audience has
droner.
spoken. The audience has spoken. All right. This one got 55 likes and would have been my post with the most. Axis 2 of Evil says, scientists recently placed a 10-piece set of matching Tupperware in a sealed chamber. When they opened it a month later, the chamber had 24 lids that did not match any of the 6 remaining containers.
No shit. That's fucking funny.
A lot of resonation with this one. What was funny is a buddy of mine who's a chef said that he goes around with a trash bag when he does classes, and he has all those in there, and he cleans out people's cabinets and either matches them up or tosses them out. I'm like, that is a full service chef right there.
Mm-hmm.
This one is just beautiful. We don't do this stuff often enough, but this is Matt Mac on Twitter, and you really got to hear it with the sound on. So I'm just going to go ahead and play it. You ever wonder what you do with all those baby videos? You got a million videos, right? That is as
Dude,
wholesome.
the thing that's what's so sweet about that is that dad watched those videos of his son for hundreds of hours to make that video.
Yeah.
Like, that is really, really cute.
Which is saying quite a bit, because I mean, we all take the videos, but who the frick watches them? And my final for this round, because there's always got to be at least one of these. In 40 years, this is what grandmas will be putting on cross stitch. It says, my drug of choice is the love I get from Jesus. Just kidding. It's weed.
I had a patient. For those of you who don't know, I'm a chaplain at a hospital. I had a patient the other day. This was like 6 months ago. And I said, I asked a question. It's a really normal chaplain question. I said, and how are you getting through this difficult time in your life? And she said, my Lord Jesus and my marijuana. And I was like, Jesus and Mary Jane. Listen,
it's a good combo.
That's quite a support system you got there. I'm not judging it. All right. Here we go. This is a cartoon from Fuey Bomb. And it's I don't know, a person with red hair, kind of an androgynous person with freckles, and they're drinking a coffee mug. And then this other character. This is really, really cartoonish. So another character, it looks like a guy. He says, he's shouting, "Don't hang your feet off the bed at night." And the next panel says, "If you do, the devil will eat them." And it shows him like really scared. And then the next panel is just the first character just with an ellipse, just kind of staring. And then the final panel is that same character with their ass hanging off the bed. Okay. All right. This is a picture of a cat, and it has a Lay's chip bag and a Pepsi, and it looks really annoyed, and it's holding a remote control, and it's sitting in a recliner, and it's watching the television screen, which is this iconic scene from the Titanic, where Leonardo DiCaprio is standing with Kate Winslet on the bow of the ship. And it says, "Me watching a romantic movie, but no longer believing in love." And then you see that the cat is saying, "Pusher."
Love it.
This is fucking dumb. This is a text conversation between someone and their mom, supposedly. And the picture is, they sent a picture first, and it's a picture of looks like, I don't know, it looks like a country. And then the name of the country is Tar, T-A-R. And then there's a pin that's been dropped in one place on the country, and it just says, "What?" And the mom says, "What?" in response to this picture. And the kid texts, "Intarnation." And then you look at the picture again, and it is "What? Intar Nation."
Right.
And mom just says, "Wow." Who did this? Somebody, I blame marijuana for that. At jetpacks_lasers says, "You call it trauma, I call it." And it's a picture of some store, and it says the name of the store is Spicy Memory. "You call it trauma, I call it spicy memory." This is a picture of, I just had this conversation with somebody. I call this a joint. This is a joint, not a blunt.
Yeah, it's a joint.
Right, because this is rolling papers, not tobacco leaf, right? Is that the distinction you make, Eric? I think if it's rolled in tobacco like a cigar, then it's a blunt.
Then it's a blunt. Yeah.
Right. So how do you
from what I've seen in movies?
Of course, allegedly. So if I allegedly cut a Black and Mild, empty out the pipe tobacco, and fill it with marijuana, roll it back up, freak it, and put the filter back on, that's a blunt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A disgusting blunt.
Okay. You know what? So first of all, I'm not going to disagree. Okay. It's a picture of a joint, and like the first, I don't know, 5/6 of this joint is categorized as, "I love nature so much, what a beautiful day." And then the last 1/6 of the joint is, "The raccoons work for the CIA." You got to know when to stop, dude. You got to know when to stop. Oh man, this is from @official Mitchell, and it says, "Older folks, why don't kids go outside anymore?" And then it says, "The outside they built." And I swear to God, this could be any metropolitan town in Illinois.
Anywhere.
Like, it looks just like you just drive up Cicero for 2 fucking hours.
Or Tennessee, or Kentucky, or
everywhere.
Arkansas.
It's just like a Subway and a Hertz car rental and just bullshit everywhere. It's all pavement. There's cars everywhere. It's just such a great point. So we didn't talk about this in the news, but the Zuckerberg he has some new idea for Facebook. He renamed it Meta. I don't know. It's really dumb. Anyway, somebody took data from Star Trek and put it next to a picture of Zuckerberg, and they just put data and metadata. And, and given what Facebook has done with our metadata, that's pretty good. This says, "Google may catch you escaping prison, but they'll still blur out your face because Google ain't a snitch." And then you see this picture from Google Earth, and it is a person walking in an orange jumper, and they've blurred out their face. Like, we're looking at Google. Fucking appreciate that shit. All right, I think, we're going to come back to that one. All right, you're up, Eric.
Oh, all right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can totally do that. I'm totally and absolutely prepared to do that. All right, we'll do a quick blast here. There's the button there. These are some candies. It says I handed it last year. The whole neighborhood went insane. It's just like a little hill on one side, and then there's like a lighthouse in the middle of. Oh,
It looks like a penis. Testicles.
This next one was actually unearthed. 26-year-old laid-back skeleton mosaic found in Greece, and they have translated it. He's kicked back. He's got a loaf of bread. He's got a bottle of wine, and it translates to "Be cheerful, enjoy your life." So, years ago, the very first rendition of "Don't worry, be happy." No, I rather like that one. My friend Shoshi is always posting wonderful Jewish memes. Has a Hebrew nativity scene handmade in clay, and we've got a rabbi. We've got a woman who kind of looks like Mary. She's wearing the hijab. We've got a baby in a Star of David shaped crib type thing. There's a menorah behind them, and I'm pretty sure that is the Wailing Wall right behind them.
Oh my God.
And my Jewish friends are just like, we have so many questions. Who is this for?
No shit.
I mean, almost all my Jewish friends do put up a Christmas tree, but none of them have a Jewish nativity scene. And I just $25.99. You get it online today. This is Dan Price, from Dan Price, Seattle, who quite famously gave all of his employees at his company $80,000 minimum salary and then tripled his profits, even while Fox News and CNBC were saying that he was going to be going down in flames. Anyway, if you're not following Dan Price, friend of the show, you're missing out. You definitely should. He says, I will cancel student debt if you vote for me. I will cancel $50,000 in student debt. I will cancel $10,000 in student debt. I will make community college free. I will be giving out 25% off coupon for the on-campus Taco Bell, limit $5 per order. Exactly. We all saw it coming. This is just one of those wonderful little stick family cartoons you see in the back windows of people's cars. We got the man, and he's got his little bow tie, and the woman, and they're holding hands. And then the daughter is apparently a pole dancer.
Nice.
The son has a hypodermic needle in his arm and is leaning on a trash can. Yeah, I hear you out there groaning. Too hardcore for you, my stick figure family is. I hear you.
Truth hurts.
Dude, can you imagine the cojones on the guy that got this? This is a guy who gives no fucks.
This is a guy who has no children.
Yeah, it's true. And no wife.
Some fucking guy. Yeah.
No wife.
This is just some shaybird. This is just some fucking guy.
This next one, I don't know if you know, but the former president has still been telling the same lies for just weeks and weeks and months and months. Well, I don't know where we at now. We're in November. So yeah, for like 11 months at least, he has been telling the same lie, and I thought this was a pretty good political cartoon. We see the former president laying in an empty pool, and he's just saying, "Help! I'm drowning in evidence of voter fraud."
Yeah, no shit.
Lifeguard Uncle Sam is just asleep with Z's coming out of his mouth. The new Dune movie is out, and there have been a bajillion memes about it, but the one that got, I think, the most second most here. Brett Druck, comedian, says, I read Dune before I watched the movie, and the book has way more words.
Ooh, controversial. I don't know.
True. This was the most popular Dune meme that I posted, which is the four characters from The Big Lebowski, and Lebowski is walking out of the sunset and just says, dude.
That's awesome. Wow, Buscemi looks young, dude. Holy
shit. I know. They all look.
Goodman looks about the same, but
Goodman looks svelte. Goodman looks downright honestly, svelte.
Here's the thing, man. I think fat people age better. I really do. Buscemi, you get to see every wrinkle and fold.
Yeah. Well, Steve's
also
been
his
airbrushed.
eyes disappeared deeper into his head.
Yeah. Still thought it was pretty good though. This next one's from Sesame Street, and we see Bert and Ernie. And they're doing how two things can be called the same thing, but they're different. And we see on the one side, Bert's got an 8-ball and Ernie's got an 8-ball. Allegedly.
For the listeners, Bert has an 8-ball like he's playing pool, and Ernie has an 8-ball of cocaine.
Yeah. And I'm only inferring this from the context because I wouldn't know. I've never even seen that in a movie, but allegedly.
I actually have never done cocaine. I think I might be cocaine. I can't imagine being up more than I am. Fuck that.
People have several times said to me the exact same pitch. They say, "Try it, you'll like it." I'm like, I'm certain.
Yeah, no doubt. I just don't think any of you are gonna like me. You think I talk a lot now?
You know, I always think of the wisdom of Robin Williams, who's like, "Hey, if you're thinking about developing a cocaine habit, before you do that, just take all your possessions out in the backyard and set them on fire."
Robin Williams.
I trust the wisdom of the man on this topic.
Yeah, especially when it comes to cocaine. Yeah.
All right, I got about 3 more left for this round. This is the 4-panel disappointed Padme, and we have Anakin Skywalker in the first panel saying, "You need to get a decent job and work hard." And Padme says, "And then I can buy a house, right?" Nothing from Anakin. "And then I can buy a house, right?"
Oh shit.
Funny because it's true.
Man.
And there's a big box being delivered here, and it's titled, "Great, my anal intruder 4000 has arrived." The label is covering it up, so the label says, "Slide up ass with care."
No matter what's in that box.
Yes.
That's what I was going to do anyway.
Yeah, with great care. You already knew that. Already thought about it. And my last one, I love, they've redacted the name of the poster, but he says, "How do you block fact checkers? I'm so sick of this crap popping up on everything." And he says, "How about posting the truth?" And the best part is that I got a whole slew of comments with animated GIFs of the Pope just like popping up with his arms coming out.
Poping up.
This crap poping up.
I'm so sick of this crap poping up everywhere.
All over the place.
All right. This is the final round. I'm kicking off the final round before the post with the most. So yes. I'll save my post with the most, and otherwise, all right, here we go. And this is going to be something. We're off. So this is a picture of a pumpkin. And it says I was disqualified. I was disqualified from the pumpkin contest at work. Oh. And then you see what they've done is they've torn the stem off. So there's just the sphincter where the stem was. Oh. And then they put a pair of panties over it that are slid to the side, and and then hands, and it really, really just looks like a goat seat. There's no other way to say it. Mm-hmm. This is a great take on a meme. This is a Leonardo DiCaprio meme, but they've added about 100 pounds to his face, and he's like, oh, wow. I think this is from Django Unchained when he's holding the snifter, and he's like got this real arrogant laugh, and it says, "My kids after Halloween, where are all of our peanut butter cups?" And then it says "me," and it's just him like arrogantly laughing and way heavier than we're used to seeing him. This one I just thought was kind of sweet. It's a pie graph and it's all red. There's nothing else, just solid. And it says, "What I want to be for Halloween." And then it says that red stands for inside you. That's nice. This is a picture of the new Buzz Lightyear, which there was a lot of conversation about this on Twitter. And a lot of people have a lot of feelings about what this new animated Buzz Lightyear looks like. A lot of people have a lot of feelings about who's voicing him, and just the fact that it's not Tim Allen. But that's because the movie is actually about the person Buzz Lightyear, who the toy is made after. So anyway, there's this picture of Buzz Lightyear, who I don't know how to describe him. He just looks more realistic than the regular Buzz that we're used to from Toy Story. And somebody wrote, "New Buzz looked like he'd be turning off his body cam." And that is so true. Like, that is so uncomfortably true. He looks like a fascist. He just looks straight up like a fascist cop. Trash Can Paul, who I can't do a set without him, has a picture of SpongeBob, who's like really swollen and his eyes are bugging out and he looks really, really tense and uncomfortable. And it says, when I'm hanging out with my friends and I see a good 12 pounds of scrap copper unattended in a construction site, he says, and SpongeBob is going, I don't need it. I don't need it. And what I have to say about this is I have cousins who have feuded over copper. That like somebody tore wire out of a job site. Another one of my cousins stole the wire and burned the rubber off and sold the copper. And like, you don't understand what copper is to like trailer trash white folks. Trash Can Paul fucking nails this one.
Nice.
This is a picture of Vladimir Putin holding up a glass of wine like he's toasting. And it says 4 things people can't choose: parents, nationality, sexuality, and the president of Russia. This is a picture of Junior Asparagus from VeggieTales, and he's sleeping, and I don't know what the fuck this is supposed to be, but there is a shield, a silver shield, and it says in big bold letters, "This area patrolled by God."
Wow.
So Twitter has misappropriated this meme, so everyone knows. Oh, sorry, Eric, but this is the sexiest picture I've ever seen of your father. This is. I don't know, Eric, is this the dad you grew up with? I don't know.
Oh yeah.
It's a picture of Colonel Sanders, who is not just shirtless, but wearing. I mean, it looks like pants or boxers or underwear of some kind that are just barely covering the wobbly bits. He's got his cane, he's got his black tie, there's little chickadees on his shoulders. He is huge, jacked, muscular, 6-pack, sex lines, the whole nine, and at the bottom it just simply says, Buenos dias.
Dude, I especially like the little chicks on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Like he seems like a Disney princess, you know?
Yeah.
Looks just like you.
They're gonna dress him later, you know, they're gonna fly in there and carry his clothes to him. Nice.
This picture is aggressively attractive.
I'm here for it.
This is another me too. This is another 4-panel comic, and it looks like a priest, or maybe even it's a cardinal or something, archbishop. And he's faceless. It's very crudely drawn, but I dig it. And it says, and he's saying, this is a disaster. And some nameless people are saying, is it really that bad? And he says, do you know how much scripture we'll have to revise? And the faceless people say, look, we apologized. In the third panel, the cardinal says, I mean, we can't have a trinity with just a father and son. And again, from off panel, they say, again, we're sorry. And then you see the final panel, and it says, sorry's not enough. Guards, take the proton packs. And it's the Ghostbusters. And they say, hey, we're just doing our jobs. Oh, this is a sad one. It's a picture of Freddy Krueger. And he's squatting down on the ground. He's got his hat in his hand, smoking a cigarette and exhaling smoke. And he says, been chasing people in their dreams so long, I forgot to chase my own. And then the bottom it says, it's never too late. All right, these last two, but I'm going out strong. This is Fucking Sober, which again, as a sober person, I really love this page. It's a picture of a naked woman standing. She's like lighting a cigarette. It looks like she's either on a beach or sand dunes maybe. And it says, this count is a safe space for people who are in fact the problem, which resonates with me. I'm glad to know I'm safe. And then my final meme for my final round, leaving only my post with the most for next. This is my final meme, and it is one of those repurposed porn memes of Riley Reid, except somebody has superimposed Juggalo paint over her face. And she says, oh, fuck, you're going to make me whoop whoop.
I'm picturing the axe off screen. Oh, my gosh. Terrible.
You're going to make me whoop whoop.
Whoop.
Fucking juggalos are everywhere, man.
They are, man. If you try to strike one down, two come back.
Just give them Fago and walk away.
In honor of our friend, Kenneth, who loves Tom Waits, I thought this was an absolute excellent quote. He says, "We have a deficit of wonder. When I ask people questions now, they get out their phone. I say, no, I don't want to know the answer. I just want to wonder about it a while."
Yeah, man, that's cool.
Next, here's a picture of my dad with Rand Paul. That's pretty funny.
Oh,
I thought after the Buenos Dias, you'd probably want to have a little comparison there. So.
Buenos dias. If I ever meet your dad, that's all I'm going to say.
Buenos Dias.
I have a Rand Paul story for after the show, by the way.
All right.
Good.
Gallifreyan Jedi posts, "If you think taxing billionaires is divisive, wait till you hear my other idea from the Center for American Progressives correcting record with guillotines."
That's dope.
You think taxing billionaires is divisive? Oh yeah, love me a good guillotine joke. Today in Target's parking lot, a guy, "Hey, sign this petition for voter ID." Me. "Do I have to show ID to sign it?" Guy. "No. So how do you know I'm a voter?" Guy. "We verify name, address, and signature via the voter registry." Me. "You just explained why voter ID is not necessary."
Yeah.
I feel like Willie Nelson's been the same age my whole life.
No shit. That guy's been the same age for at least 37 years.
People keep pointing this stuff out where it's just like, I feel unstuck in time. You know what I mean? And this is yet another data point that I'm like, yeah, this doesn't make any temporal sense. Next, this is a sign. I don't know where this sign is, but it's a red triangle, and we have a person in a wheelchair rolling downhill towards an alligator's mouth. Never seen this sign. And the caption is, "So how many times did this happen before someone finally said, yeah, okay, I guess we need to put up a sign?"
Right.
All right, this next one. Schoolie, our Schoolie says, "World's richest man doesn't want to pay more taxes" is right up there with "Toddler thinks bedtime is unfair" in terms of scoops. And this is a
exactly.
Commenting on the Daily Mail US, because you see, Elon Musk was complaining on television about paying taxes when he didn't pay any taxes last year, and he made $36 billion in one day, which is a record.
Read the quote. Read the quote, Eric, because we need to talk about it.
Elon Musk slams Biden over his new billionaires tax and warns that eventually they run out of other people's money and come for you.
Oh, you mean me? Because they've been coming for me for fucking ever, dude. Like who is he warning about this?
Dude, I loved it, and I had it lined up, but I lost it, man. There were so many memes that were like, dude, we've been paying our taxes the whole time.
Right. He's like, soon, regular people are going to have to pay taxes. Like, fuck you.
Yeah, sorry. And by the way, too, the ruling comedy is Punching Up, and I would like to remind everyone, there is no higher up than the world's richest man.
Yeah, eviscerate him. Yeah. Absolutely.
This is Ralph Wiggins from The Simpsons, and he's coming in to explain to his parents very bashfully. He's looking down at his fingers, and he's not looking them in the eye. He says, "I saw teachers in the closet making critical race theory, and I saw one of the critical race theories, and the critical race theory looked at me and said I did slavery."
Listen, I'm not sure who this meme is targeted at, though. Like, I can see this being shared on a right-wing page. Like, and
that's true.
not getting it.
Because right-wingers famously can't do voices. That's why.
That's why. Yeah, that's exactly.
All right. This is from Obvious Plant, who does all the fake products, and the librarians are passing around this delightful fake book cover captioned "The 70s Were Wild." It's titled "How to Smoke Weed Out of Anything." And in the picture, we clearly see a man and his girlfriend, and he's got a stem from a pipe, but it's protruding from a fully dressed hot dog, which, you could. Along the side, we've got apples, ducks, pants, Tony, a car battery, and more.
Tony.
And for after the show, I got a story about Tony.
Wait, how do you smoke weed out of a duck? I'm sorry. What?
All right, see, this is how we know you've never smoked weed, because every one of your
Yeah,
stoner
clearly.
friends is a MacGyver. They could
Dork.
It's either something to smoke out of or a place to hide it, and they know how to do it, and they already have the tools. All right, next.
But if the duck dies, you did it wrong. I will tell you that. If the duck dies, you did it wrong.
Normally, though, it's because they don't hold the rush holes on its beak. That's the problem. You're not getting enough. You're not getting a vacuum. But it works. All right, this is from Melissa Flora Bixler. She says, every time I get a gray hair, I remember that one of my stem cells is like, the working conditions here are awful and I am done. And I respect that from a labor perspective. All right, this next one that I posted to our Facebook for the Blind group page on Facebook. Join it and like it. And if you have requests for memes, ask us and we'll post them for you there. And then you can share them with your friends and play your own home version. Normal and relaxed at Internet Hippo says, it's easy to be happy and nice, but the real power move is being miserable and nice. How am I doing? Real shitty, dude. Very bad. Can I help you move or anything, though?
Yeah, that's our friend group, dude. That's
I know. And by the way, this and other memes like this are on Ominous Positivity Memes. You should follow them. I highly suggest it. All right, got about half dozen more here. This one got a lot of traffic. This is the drunkest cities in every state. And our buddy Jim Davis, who's out there in California, whose drunkest city is Chico. I'd like to see if the Californians would agree with that sucker. But drunkest cities, according to my IG followers. And Jim says, congratulations, Champagne. They made the big time, but unfortunately, Michigan owns the game. And I said, no, bro, Wisconsin owns the game because it's labeled all of them. All of them. But yeah, Champagne, man. Yeah. And I was like, Cincinnati, Ohio. Okay. Muncie. All right. I can see that. Lexington, maybe. Nashville. These all seem pretty accurate. And all of them in Wisconsin. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Listen, I got to be honest with you. As a person who did a lot of drinking, a lot of drinking, I can tell you that there are some cities on this list that are fucking spot on. Virginia Beach.
Yep.
Virginia is
Boston.
Drunk.
New York City.
Boston.
Philadelphia.
My God, dude. South Philly almost killed me.
And you know what got me? I was looking really closely for it, and I didn't see it, and I realized why. District of Columbia is not a state.
Yeah.
But
DC's drunk as fuck, though.
Yeah, right in there. Look, see these arrows lining up here? All right, you got the idea. This next one got a lot of traffic, 26 likes, 2 comments, 4 shares. Natasha Viana posts an app where you can transfer your imposter syndrome to people who shouldn't be in positions of power. Posted in the group, Slay the Patriarchy. And yeah, feeling it. And dude, a lot of people resonated with this. Tim Fahey, Dr. Fahey said, I feel this. All right. The big news this week, of course, is that, I want to do this thing. SeanMcCarthy.com at the whole Bay of Pigs thing posts, I love that the mainstream media position is, yes, the CIA did bad things in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s, but nobody was ever prosecuted and there were no reforms. So now they don't do bad things today. You conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, it was weird when we heard leftists like defending the CIA in the Trump years. I was like, okay, Trump's bad for sure, but like, hold on. Like, let's not just fucking.
Here's my thought too. People always talk about how, what is it? MSNBC is like the big liberal station. And I'm like, I would be willing to make a $5 bet that former directors of the CIA have been on that TV channel talking about stuff more than any other channel. Just take a wild guess. Yeah. And it's just like, dude, their job is to lie. He lied to you in front of the Congress. Remember when they were like, hey, did you bug every American citizen? He was like, I remember he's clasping his head. Clapper. He was clapping his bald spot. I remember it. It was very memorable. It was quite an image. Anyway, and lied to us. Okay, off track. Back to this. Now we have the Corgi meme where the Corgi is making the two little toy Corgis like, either kiss each other or fight, and this time the Corgi is labeled United States, and the left little toy Corgi is drug lords wanted by the DEA, and the right little Corgi is drug lords funded by the CIA.
Yeah.
And as the Corgi's playing with the left and the right, it's captioned "Now kiss." It's like, that has to happen a lot, like that Spider-Man meme where Spider-Man's both pointing at each other.
Yeah.
You're under arrest by the feds. No, you're under arrest by the feds. All right. Now, the big deal this week, of course, was that Mark Zuckerberg, again, one of the richest people in the universe, so screw that guy. The big news is that instead of actually correcting any of the problems with Facebook, he decided instead to rename it. So I posted in Facebook for the Blind, a weekly meme cast. I have said it before, and I'll say it again. We are not renaming our show.
Nice. Dude, you know what's really weird is this video, when you watch the video, Zuckerberg just has a bottle of barbecue sauce on a shelf.
Oh, people noticed. He renamed it Meta, and he had a bottle of barbecue sauce on the shelf. And we had this one from friend of the show, Mackenzie Archibald, who Mark Zuckerberg, and it's got the two hobbits, and he's like, after all, why not? And he's got the Sweet Baby Ray's bottle in his hands. Why shouldn't I put this on my bookshelf?
Yeah, right.
Followed up by a number of this one's from Mean Girls, and the character is saying, stop trying to make meta happen.
Right.
With that stare that only teenage girls can give you. Takes me right
Maybe
back.
we'll eat these words. Maybe it's going to change the world, but fuck, it just sounds like a desperate attempt to change the subject.
And one of my favorite posts, and I put it on George's page because I know the man loves this ingredient, feta. Mark's got a huge block of feta.
Yeah, I saw one that had a picture of the Sweet Baby Ray's on the shelf, and it was like, quick, put on the shelf what the humans have in their houses. All right, I'm going with my post with the most. And here we go. Oh, that's whoop whoop. All right, here's my post with the most this week. And I'm going to read this and then I'm going to talk about it just for a minute. This is a picture of Hannah Gadsby, and she has her hand extended like, come on. And it's a quote from one of her shows, and it says, when somebody tells me to, quote, stop being so sensitive, end quote, you know what? I feel a little like a nose being lectured by a fart. I am not the problem. And this was the way that I chose to engage online about Dave Chappelle's about his special, The Closer. I have a lot of thoughts about Dave Chappelle and what money does to people. I put this one up. The only other thing I put up about it was a picture of Mickey from Rocky, and it's whenever he's telling Rocky that he's gone soft.
Yeah.
He says you did the worst thing that could ever happen to a fighter. You got civilized, and you got comfortable. And I wrote, there's nothing more disappointing in this world than a comedian with money, because you just lose all fucking perspective. And the most scathing, like, I think the meanest thing I read about Dave Chappelle, and I mean that in a very complimentary way, I think he deserves it, was Michael Harriot from The Root, who just simply said The Closer wasn't funny. He's like, he goes, I hear all of you and you're all upset. It sounds to me like you're all leaving dinner reviews about a meal you had at Applebee's. Like, you shouldn't be surprised. Like, this was not funny. He said Dave Chappelle is one of the greatest comedians of all time, maybe the greatest of all time. He said, but this just wasn't funny. Right. I think it's intellectually lazy to punch down. I think when you're getting $20 million per special, then it raises the bar. There are fewer and fewer people you can punch. and he should have punched up. So my last point about this is, so instead, and then he went after Hannah Gadsby specifically. He said that Hannah Gadsby's not funny, which, I don't have a problem actually with that statement, but I would say that Dave Chappelle hasn't even tried to be funny. He's tried to be interesting in these last three specials more than anything. Something I think he failed miserably at this last time. So instead of like lifting up his words and retweeting him and subtweeting him and talking about him, instead, I just decided to post a picture of Hannah Gadsby saying something I think is really fucking clever, really on point, really funny, and just perfectly sums up the way people feel about him. Yeah, yep. I'm done.
Tight. Nice. All right, and closing it out at 8:34, which is darn near close to the target time we set for this silly show.
We didn't do bad.
We didn't do bad. My post with the most, also related to Zuckerberg's barbecue. We just have a picture of Mark in the style of, Norman Rockwell maybe. And it's just a sad man with dead eyes drinking a bottle of Baby Ray's barbecue sauce.
It reminds me of the Kramer portrait from Seinfeld. Like where it just looks like, I don't know, a little too serious.
And dudes, this is the reason that I had to play the song Rays, because it's Rays.
Oh yeah.
All ties together full circle. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been another episode of Facebook for the Blind. Thank you all so much for coming. Thanks for listening to an episode of Facebook for the Blind. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.